Real estate agents have now resorted to advertising houses for sale for only $1. Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. They are doing this trickery as if you are stupid and believe that you can actually buy a house for $1 or $5, $35, $100 for that matter. But the housing market is great. At least that's what many of these agents will tell you. But this growing $1 advertised house price is screaming something completely different. Now, in order to try this dollar tactic, they must first convince their home seller that this is a good idea. Of course, most savvy consumers know this trickery just isn't true. But unfortunately, many first-time homebuyers are falling for this, getting excited and thinking this low-price offering is actually an opportunity to get a nice house for less than a trip to the grocery store. But is this strategy a good idea? The first question that might come to your mind when hearing something like this type of false advertising, is it legal for a homeowner to lowball advertise a price for their home like $1 to create traffic to their listing? Do laws allow someone willingly lowballing their home to the public? In other words, this is deliberate and not an advertising mistake like you might find at a grocery store. Is this legal? Can they turn down the buyer's offer when this cash-carrying, no contingency buyer shows up? The answer is yes, it's 100% legal. Advertising for a house sale is an invitation only to come bring an offer. There's absolutely no requirement for a seller to take anyone's price offering when they're advertising to get you into their house. Now, we'll take a look on NOLO.com. They published an article in April of this year, and it says, does a home seller have to accept a full price offer? It's understandable that many sellers and often their real estate agents believe they must accept an offer like this. After all, aren't the buyers giving the sellers exactly what their listing asked for? However, there is currently no U.S. laws that require this. Home sellers are free to reject or even counter a contingency-free full-price offer and aren't bound to any of the terms until they sign a written real estate purchase agreement. Now, real quick, this just kind of reminds me here in Maryland, and I'm sure in a lot of states as well, this may be the case, but let's say you're looking at a house that's listed at $400,000, and you go see the house and you go, wow, this is a really nice house. It's probably underpriced. I'm willing to pay $430,000 for the house. But I'm going to start at $400,000. And in Maryland, we have what's called an escalation clause. So you may write an offer that says, I will give you $400,000 for your house, but I'm also providing this escalation clause that says I will pay up to $430,000 in $5,000 increments of an offer that beats my $400,000. So it's capped at $430,000. So in other words, if you have a bona fide offer for $405,000, I'll give you $410,000. If you have an offer for $425,000, I'll give you $430,000. If you have an offer for $428,000, I'll give you $430,000. I'm not going higher than that. That's what an escalation clause does. Now, there is no real proof in Maryland, and I doubt anywhere else for that matter, where a seller or their listing agent has to prove to you other than do what is called a seller's net sheet. They never have to show you the contract. They don't have to prove anything to you. You have to take them for their word. So this kind of activity where you're trying to almost get an auction going, on your property is really questionable. So now that we know that it's not illegal to falsely advertise a home price or an enticement, maybe it's not false, it's the enticement to get you to come and bid, you may say, well, why is it illegal to falsely advertise prices on other products or services? So again, on NOLO.com, it says, avoid unlawful advertising, 7 rules for your business. Now, this is like if I had a store, right? So it goes over these 7, but I want to focus in on number 5. It says, be truthful about pricing. Don't advertise a discounted price unless you've previously sold the item at the full price. Don't offer an item that's not in stock at a lower price and then try to sell a different, more expensive item to a shopper. This is a tactic is called the bait and switch. I mean, I think Any consumer knows about this. And in addition, your sale price must be for a limited period. You can sell an item at an everyday low price all the time, but you can't call it a sale price if there's no end in sight when the item will again be sold at a higher price. So why don't the same laws apply to real estate? Well, we can look at the Houston Association of Realtors website because they had the answer. Listing price versus sale price. What's the real deal? It says the seller sets the listing price to attract buyers, and it can adjust it during negotiations. The listing price is not a fixed number and often serves as a starting point for negotiation. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I just wanted to take a brief minute and share some exciting news. I have just released my new Todd Simple home buying course. This course is designed for anyone wanting to know how to buy a home. It's designed to take you through the entire home buying process from start to finish. You'll learn how to represent yourself should you want to avoid paying real estate commissions, the best ways to shop for a home, how to avoid costly mistakes, what to look for when touring a home, negotiation tactics, and so much more. In this home buying course, I hold nothing back. In fact, I would go to say that no one has uncovered the home buying process like I have. I've even made a way for you to gift this course to your family and friends. Visit saxrealty.education. The link is also pinned in the comments below. Now back to the show. So what prompted me to do a video about this auction mentality that many listing agents are now trying to convince home sellers to try? It's because I'm seeing this happen now all across the country. Why? Because sales are slow. And why are sales slow? Oh, because prices of homes today are unaffordable for many home buyers. Many buyers believe the houses are not worth the asking price. And thirdly, many wannabe homeowners are concerned about strapping themselves into a house payment that goes up every single year due to things like rising property taxes and homeowners insurance premiums, not to mention home maintenance and repair costs that have also gone through the roof, pun intended. In this publication of realtor.com, you guys have heard me, if you've watched my videos before, mention this has nothing to do with realtors, okay? Realtor.com, this site's not owned by realtors, not owned by realtor.com. It is simply a URL, realtor.com, a protected, registered name where the National Association of Realtors leases this to the company to utilize this name. So I guess technically they could yank it if they didn't follow some of the guidelines or the rules. But anyway, they published in July 18th of 25, the dollar home marketing tactic is rising steadily as sellers try to get creative. A clever real estate tactic that's been drawing shoppers looking for a steal as markets become buyer-friendly. There's been a rise in the number of $1 properties being listed for sale, and they're not foreclosed or abandoned. Many of these homes are stunning properties with competitive amenities. Real estate agents have used this marketing tactic as an attention grab, knowing full well that the home wouldn't actually sell for that price. When experienced buyers spot that $1 price tag, they know not to take it literally. First-time home buyers might find it to be a deceitful marketing method. Really? Da Silva, a real estate agent, says he receives hundreds of phone calls after listing some of his Newark properties for $1, with potential buyers given 1 week to present their best offer for the house. I knew it would trigger insanity, he said. The buyers have been split between confused, $1 bids, and a lot of serious attention. Managing was nearly impossible. We began reviewing comps over the phone with buyers. Interesting. Very interesting. Like I have time to waste as a home buyer. As I do agree that a real estate auction mentality is good to create interest, but will the seller accept what the buyers believe their home is worth? Now, let me ask you guys, what happened to here's the price and the best offer strategy? Not this house is advertised for $1, but my sellers won't take anything less than that $850,000 overvalued price. Now, I don't have a problem with an agent listing a home for slightly under where the home should actually be priced in today's market. I don't have a problem with that because I think that that will increase some healthy competition, but also the end result will be a realistic sales price, right? What a buyer really will be willing to pay. When you do something stupid, in my opinion, by offering a house for $1, you're not getting serious offers. You're going to get people that will play along with that same game. Stupid decisions create stupid consequences, right? So I don't think that this tactic is really good. And I think it really pisses a lot of people off. I don't even like when an agent prices a house, if it's a $500,000 house, I don't even like when they price it for $100,000 less. It's sort of like the same tactic, but it shows that they're, in my opinion, they're very unprofessional. So if I learned anything about the last 5 years as a real estate broker, most home buyers, they don't want to engage in a bidding war. They will simply walk away. And what I mean is I've watched agents lose deals for their sellers. So they put it, the most important time for a seller is the first 3 to 5 days on the market. After that, then your price is probably going to be cut. You're going to need to come down. And also, the first offer you usually get is your most exuberant buyer and typically your best offer historically. But I've watched agents that have tried this trickery of utilizing a multiple offer situation and they lost all of their offers. So let's just say that the seller, house goes on the market, 3 offers come in and the seller starts to get greedy, the agent gets greedy or whatever, and starts working the offers against each other. Put your best foot forward, they say. It's a multiple offer situation. They want you to rebid against yourself. They don't counter an offer. They don't look at your $400,000 offer on a $450 house and come back at $430. They just tell you, we have multiple offers, compete with yourself and give us your highest and best. And what I say as an agent is we did. We gave you our highest and best. What is the seller asking for? Counter our offer. But I've watched where agents have tried this tactic. The seller convinces them to do it, or they convince the seller to do it. They negotiate with, let's just say, all 3 of their offers, and all 3 offers back out. Now they look like crap, right? They have mud on their face. What happened now to the multiple offer situation that the house is now 4 months on the market with 3 more price declines, and you probably should have taken one of those first offers that came in. But anyway, I said to myself, who's doing this dollar offering and is it working? So I started shopping on realtor.com. So let's take a look at this Texas house that I found. And I mean, it looks nice, 40 photos online. They even have a virtual tour, but here it is. They dropped their price, $434,000, now offering for $1. So let's take a look at a couple things. It was built in 2020. Now, a lot of Texas, and there are just non-disclosure states out there where you can't see what a house actually sold for. So you have to do a little bit of creative digging around, maybe talk to a real estate agent, even though you don't necessarily hire them. But let's look at the price history on this, because if we go back to when this house was originally built in 2020, you see here, because it's Texas or non-disclosure, it says it was sold in September 11th of 2020, but no disclosed price. But I can surely almost guarantee you the price has probably almost doubled since then. But they put it on the market April 22nd of 2024 for $469,000. They did a price decrease June 27th of 24. They took $4,000 off, big deal. They gave up in July of 24 and then decided it would be a good idea to list it for a lot less than what they originally wanted. And they dropped the price to $440 April 5th. And guess what? Really, I don't know what happened here, but they went up in price. They removed the listing. Then they put it back on the market June 18th. And then I guess in July, they decided they were going to drop it to $1 by cutting the price $434,000. Now, it's been almost a month. What happened? If this strategy is so great, why haven't they sold this house? So Let's go out to California. We'll check this house out here in Collings, California. It's also for sale for $1. If we look at the historical pricing data, 1997, the house was built. 1992, the lot was purchased for $296,000. Maybe they sold the lot prior to building a house again in 97 for $115,000. Obviously, the original buyer of this lot, lost a lot of money. You can lose a lot of money when buying real estate. This is proof. Then they built a house. Somebody probably lived in it for 8-9 years. They listed it in 2008 during the GFC for only $200,000. That includes the lot and the house here now. And then the listing was removed 157 days later. Somebody scooped it up in 2009 for that $200,000 price. And then now they're trying to sell it for $1. So let's go northeast to Buffalo, New York. Here's another house for $1. There's a couple things I want to show you on this one. In the property details, the agent wrote, because apparently logic has left the building, I guess that's like Elvis. Elvis has left the building. This completely transformed home is being listed for only $1. You may just need the change that is in your couch. I'm sorry. Yes, you got that right. This home is being marketed for $1. This all brick beauty has been so redone. Even I gotta listen to the rest of this. Even the original bricks are wondering who they are anymore. Let's break it down. New electric service, new furnace, new central air conditioning, new water heat, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. This is crazy, right? This 3-bedroom house. Let's take a look at this pricing history. All right, it was built in 1962, but the bricks don't know who they are anymore. In March 30th of 01, it was sold for $40,000. You could check out this history yourself here. You can just simply hit the pause button if you like. But August 6th, 8 days now on realtor.com for only $1. So what I recommend to any buyer that sees this kind of lowball offering nonsense on a home that you could be interested in, number one, call the listing agent. Call them out. Number two, ask the listing agent what the seller is hoping to get for the home. Why waste your time? Then number three, decide if you want to see it or not. Jeez, so is there actually anything else that we can do to continue to earn the distrust of the consumers in this real estate industry? I thought puffing was bad. We learned this in class where they're like, oh yeah, well, you can puff. You can allow puffing. You can exaggerate on certain things. An example of that would be like somebody saying, hey, this is ocean view, but you actually have just a tiny pigeonhole view to the ocean. Or an agent might advertise a beautifully updated kitchen where the sellers actually only did one thing. They installed a built-in microwave over the oven. Or many agents will say, this 4-bedroom house is now a 5-bedroom house because the sellers have put this little room in the dungeon where it doesn't even meet legal egress, but they're calling it a 5th bedroom. So instead of the 4-bedroom, they'll say this beautiful 5-bedroom house. Heck, I guess you could call it a 12 extra bedroom house and call the backyard a living room for that matter. Come on, guys, let's clean it up a bit. All right, let's talk about this in the comments. What are your thoughts about this $1, $5, or even $100 strategy? Do you go for stuff like this? Is it a waste of your time? Is this a more mud on the face to our industry? And don't buy a house, please, without first getting my Todd Simple Home Buying course. I teach you how to protect yourself in these shark-infested waters. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Best compliment that you can give me is to share this video with your family and friends. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing so now. Hit that alert bell. You'll know when I upload content just like this. And let me know if you like the video. You can do it by smashing that thumbs up because, hey, we're not talking in the same room together. So I don't know what you're thinking unless you show me that by hitting that thumbs up button. See you next time. Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.